Yeah, it was kind of stressful. It was like, oh,
It is.
man, you had a really good one, and like I want to go back and try the other because most everybody was offering two.
We should have gone back to North 47 for Ride the Lightning. Would have tied in well.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the American Beer Review Podcast.
Good times with good friends requires good beer. Lucky for us, we know how to pick all three.
We're a group of friends who grew up in the Pacific Northwest, giving us a jump start on our craft beer journey.
Join us today while Brian... I pride myself on not getting to know other people, so do not put that on me.
Alec.
So the bananas up until like the 60s were an entirely different species of banana.
And Chad. It hit me like a wrecking ball.
Review some beer, talk about beer topics, and whatever else comes up. We invite you to pour yourself a drink and hang out with us.
All right.
So I guess we were pretty well started off. We were kind of talking about mine and Alec's time at the Gig Harbor Beer Festival. Probably at time of publishing almost a month ago, but this is kind of our first time back in the normal shop where we've been able to sit down.
Other than our last episodes.
Yeah, where we were mobile. So this is kind of a little bit of we're catching up on what we've been up to, kind of. We've been doing a lot of summering.
A little bit, yeah.
We haven't been here in studio.
Almost 2 months. 6 weeks.
No, we had a quick one.
Time is a construct.
This is the first time at a normal recording time when we're not.
Yeah. And this is our first double recording day in a while now. We've been doing a lot of.
No, now you're pulling.
Now you're peeking behind the curtain a little too much there.
Yeah, well, you got to give the people a little taste.
That is.
You got to give the people a little taste.
That is light.
Mm-hmm.
So I am pouring. Chad, you can keep talking about.
Yeah, and this was a pickup on our way down to the NASCAR race down at Brothers Cascadia,
which we attempted to record at.
Yeah, we started to, and I think we misjudged or did the
Miatas started driving. We heard them in the background.
No, this is at the brewery. The battery on your little tricorder thing.
Well, because my tricorder was flipped in the on position when
the entire drive down.
Yeah, so like for 24 hours. So those those double A's did a really good job.
Got smoked.
Yeah.
So Oye Como Va, a Mexican lager from Brothers Cascadia.
If your mouth
Brewing.
doesn't point into that microphone, I can't hear you.
Sorry.
There we go.
Oye Como Va, Brothers Cascadia Brewing in partnership with Heathen Brewing. We picked these up.
I can't find it.
Do A Como Va by Santana, Carlos Santana, because that is. Yeah, it's based off the song, in honor of the song by Carlos Santana.
4.5%.
Oh, interesting.
The man makes love to a guitar
with strata and lime.
So did they call it? Did you say this already? Man, I really need to pay more attention. Did they call it an IPL?
The can says Mexican lager.
So on here, it's a lager IPL. And I wonder if it's like you just talked about the hops. Like you started to talk about the hops. I wonder if that has to do with why they... Yeah, they're calling it a Mexican IPL on here.
Yeah, strata and lime. Pretty cool artwork on the can.
Yeah.
By artist Matt Lloyd.
Oh, nice.
Giving him credit there. So that's
And we did a nice...
Cool.
The little... if you want a little closer, we'll probably do another post on this, but we did have one at the race. Showing off the can art.
I wonder if we need to do a better job with our glass cleaning. What's the smell you're getting on this?
Pears. Kind of peary. Cidery.
I might be getting pickle.
You think lime, maybe?
I think it's in your mind.
No.
Yeah, there's some lime in there.
No, I think I didn't clean the glass enough.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, I'll take the rest of your pickle tinted.
Here, yeah, I'll try this and see if it smells different. Yeah, I think it might be. I could be wrong. Because you had one of these.
I crushed one of these during a get out of the sun break.
Yeah, this one wasn't on tap, right? Because we didn't have this in the flights.
I was gonna add, well, if anyone did, it would have been cam.
It was a can pour. This and another beer they had were a can pour.
That's right.
There.
So we ended up with a 4-pack of them.
But the gal working there hooked me up. Technically, she couldn't do a mixed 4-pack, but she said if you want to mix 4-pack, I will do it. And I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
Thank you.
So
I
did you
it.
mix a 4-pack?
Yeah, so I mixed a 4-pack with, I did 2 of these and I drank the other 2 and completely forgot about it because day drinking.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So then Cam must have done a mixed 4-pack too, because we ended up with 2 of them in the cooler.
Oh, I did 2 of the Mexicans and 2 of the one for the dirt race. That one,
Okay.
that Portland dirt race, they did like a special lager for it. No, golden ale. It's in the fridge.
Oh,
Maybe we'll review it after. Maybe
I'm
not.
confused.
So am I.
Somebody bought 2.
We've been doing a lot of
Somebody bought
stuff.
2 4-packs, though, I think.
No, I think 2 people each bought 1 4-pack.
Yes.
Which is how we ended
That
up
is what
with
happened. Me
2
and Cam
4-packs.
both bought 2 mixed
Maybe.
4-packs of beer from these folks before we left.
Cam did
Yeah.
not buy a mixed 4-pack. He would have bought an
No.
entire 4-pack
Yes.
of this Mexican lager.
Yes, it's very true.
Well, he's not here to defend himself, and
No, so
we're making the story.
Blame it on him.
We're the storytellers. Anyways.
But yeah, so we stopped at Brothers Cascadia on the way to the race.
Yeah.
It's a cool spot. I liked it. I'd never been there. I've had some of their beers before, but I don't think I'd ever knew exactly where it was. And then actually the one that they partnered with on this, Heathen Brewing,
Yep.
is also from Vancouver. And
Makes
that's
sense.
the brewery that Les and I went to on the way back from the race last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have like a kind of big outdoorsy
Nice little bookend there.
place. Yeah, right? I know. It's like I planned it or something.
Well, that's the nice thing. You end up in the same place. Usually there's beer there to drink.
Oh, well, and I mean, Portland, Vancouver area, you know,
Funny,
you
yeah.
throw
You
a
just-
stone in
you
any
trip
direction
over 'em.
and you're going to hit something. So,
I literally took like 2 wrong exits on my way back. And
Intentionally?
sort of. I was taking a drive. I had to buy a charging cable for my phone
why?
because I
Because he
didn't have
left
one.
it down there,
Oh, did he?
and
I
it's in
did.
the front seat of my wife's car.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I wonder
That's
where
fun.
that went.
I have it. I meant to bring it. I
Oh,
got
well.
it about 50% of the way here.
Well, I bought another one for like $2, so I think I'm good for another till I lose it again. But anyways, yeah. But I 2 exits to go find a C-store to get a charging cable, and I drove by at least 6 breweries
Yeah.
just in that like 15-minute window of
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to find that down
I-
in that area, just high density.
Do not doubt that. The beer,
I had
it's-
this at the race.
I would
and
say, yeah.
I liked it, so I've got my opinions in my head.
Yeah, so and this is what I was trying to figure out is they call themselves Vancouver, but they're technically in a place called Hazel Dell, which is just like the north side of Vancouver. And
Yes.
we've all been talking about Vancouver, Washington, not
Not Vancouver, Canada.
yeah, which is
Even though they're 2 hours, 3 hours away,
Yeah.
depending on how fast you drive.
but yeah, this I'm not getting a ton of the lime,
No.
but it's a good like easy drinker.
It's good lawnmower beer. It was. I mean, we were chilling in that sun.
Yeah,
it didn't hit 8. It was close to 80.
it felt
barely touched, but it felt way hotter than it was.
Yeah.
Sitting in the direct sun, it definitely felt.
On those hot benches, like as
Yeah.
soon as those benches got a little heat in them, whew,
Yeah. Yeah, you powered through a little longer than I did. I think I kept popping down into the tree the tree area every 25 minutes or so.
I was doing the thing you're probably not supposed to do at those little hand wash stations.
Were you drinking the hand wash water?
No. I was like splashing that water on my face, and I was like, okay, well, they tell you not to drink it, so it
Can
should
I
be-
just put it? I mean, you put it on your hands.
Can I put it? Yeah, can I put it on my face just to cool myself down a little bit?
I mean, you're putting it on your hands, so
Yeah, I
why
think
would
you're fine.
you?
No, I would never drink that.
Mhm.
I don't even think I saw anybody trying to do it. I think I also didn't see anybody using the hand wash station.
We were also in the. I used
We were in the RV section, so
RV
everyone
section.
Yes,
had their
that's
own,
what. Yes, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
their own stuff, but
which
yeah.
was nice because you always had access to it. For the 5 a.m., I got to go take a piss.
Oh, you mean like when you wake up and you got to go from the tent to the bathroom and you can't figure out why Cam is on the floor
Yes,
of the tent? And so I have to step over him to try to go to the bathroom
we were
in the middle of the
We were
night.
a little packed in there.
Yeah, and then I think by the time I came back, he had moved. But
when did he get off? He thinks
he started on the cot.
Because when we went into the tent, I was the last one into the tent.
Yeah.
He was on the cot when I went in there because I was checking to make sure he was still
breathing,
alive. So he was there then.
That's what I thought. I thought he started on the cot.
And when I woke up in the morning, he was back there. So I don't know at what point he moved to the floor and then back. But
yeah.
All I know is somebody probably around 4 took about 15 minutes to find the zipper on the door of the tent.
Ooh, that might have been me.
I was almost at the point where like I was nice rolled over, tucked in, and I was about to just go, it's right there. It's right. Just grab the goddamn zipper and open it. But it was also hilarious.
And maybe it's just my own, like, what I do when I stay in the tent. But for whatever reason,
you put the zipper at the top, not at the bottom.
I put it at the bottom.
Put it at the bottom because you don't need to go all the way to the top.
Yes.
You just zip it a little bit and then you duck out.
Yes. So it's Chad's fault.
With the top.
Because then you got to open it all the way out. So you're going to put your shoes on outside of the tent.
I put the zipper back where I found it because I'm a good person. You use a tool, you put it back. Because eventually,
by the actual morning of the next day, I switched them to the bottom because I was sick and tired of going up to that door and not knowing where the dang thing was.
The zipper should be at 5 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah.
Right in the corner there, you can go up or down with it.
Yeah. Well, 5 or 7, depending on which side you're on.
Slide just the bottom open.
Yep.
Put your feet into your shoes outside of the tent.
Yep.
And then open the rest, step out, and rezip.
100%.
I'm waiting for tent technology to catch up with the future and just have like a membrane that I can just shimmy through, just out. No more zippers. Just let me. The future.
So it's not the same as that, but we bought a new tent.
It's like a pair of boxers. How you have you go out around the corner,
the flap.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
Why hasn't somebody made?
So we bought a new tent.
Should make a tent that you can.
That's
through
2 chambers.
Yep.
And we bought it because a friend of ours has it, and it's got like a wall in between it. And so our thought is like kids on one side,
Bone Zone on the other,
adults on the other side. And the problem is my sister bought the same one. She has actually put hers together. I have not yet. It turns out they changed the design of it, and it is no longer like a sealed wall. It's like hooked around. So the way my sister realized this was an issue is she took her little dog camping.
Oh, and they just jumped through the cracks.
Yeah, so she is trying to get ready at night, and her friend is on the other side, and all of a sudden her dog is gone and on the other side of the tent. So,
cost cutting.
Yeah, and the upside is like
also
modular.
And it makes sense in the fact of like if you are putting your kids on the other side. Now I don't have to leave and go around.
Right. You don't have to Kool-Aid man through the.
But I would rather have a solid wall with like a zip straight up the middle or something.
Yeah. Okay. Why isn't the front door just a zip? Just right up the middle. Put some stretch on it so you can through it.
That's a pretty good question.
I know the reasons because you can never have a pink tent that's designed like that. But
I don't think that's the reason they don't do that.
I've
never thought this.
Why are the doors like that? I don't know.
It's the first time I've been in a tent in like 10 years.
I was going to say.
Where I identify as an old man now.
We went.
Also,
Jesus,
to clarify,
I don't want it to take a minute to get in and out of this place.
We're in a tent. All 4 of us are sleeping on
cots
above the ground. And
Thank God. Otherwise, I'd have been soaking wet.
The flood.
That only got my stuff.
We sure that was water?
No. Someone was on the floor sleeping near my stuff. I wake up in the morning and my stuff is soaking wet. I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm just saying, But I was gonna say, you talk about being like old and in a tent. So I have like a 3-person tent before we bought this most recent one. And we were going camping last year and we're like, oh, well, we're going to get like a air mattress. And the cheapest one we could find that had a like plug it in so I could plug it into my truck and inflate it. It's a queen size mattress that also has like the extra pad. Yep. So it's not your like kind of 12-foot or 12-inch mattress. it is like almost 36 inches tall.
Oh, really?
And so I'm blowing it up by the truck, and then I'm walking it back there, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to fit through the door of the tent. Like, we literally had to, like, stretch it to capacity to try to, like, and I was like, this is dumb. And so then our poor kid is, like, on a little mat right off the side of it, as we're, like, way up on this elevated mattress with our freaking noses almost touching the ceiling because it's so...
Fall off of it and break your...
Oh, yeah.
Bust your nose or something.
I may have had some trouble getting into it one night after a little too much to drink. So
we were roughing it...
Like a waterbed.
Yeah.
Right? We were roughing it in a tent instead of the trailer.
But last time you mean? Yeah.
So I had to wake up at...
the next day.
5 o'clock on Sunday to take my brother to the airport. So I got back and was walking around. There were a couple people sleeping like underneath easy ups.
Oh, yeah.
Just totally out there. And I was like, oh, man. But he had full camping kit set up.
Oh.
If you were like cocooned up in a...
Cocoon, sleeping bag, and the mat and everything like you would if you were camping, hiking or something.
I was worried about the mosquito situation.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was even thinking about like that under an easy up, I would think I'd be fine. But now that I've seen like the bug situation there, I think we're fine. I just didn't want to wake up at like 5 a.m. discovering there's like a
million mosquitoes on your face.
Yeah, the tent though kind of gives a little bit of like dampener to the sun that's coming up though. The easy up, as soon as that sun's crested, you're screwed.
Yeah, but I'm up anyways because I'm old.
But anyway, walking around, so I saw that guy, and then finishing my walk around the campground, and there was a dude just sleeping on the ground beside his truck.
Was he in a sleeping bag, or was he...
No, he had a blanket over him. I feel like it was one of those where he intended to go home after the race. And
then was like, I am not going to make it. And then, no, it's probably he intended to go home after the race, found out there was the concert.
Stayed for that.
Had a little too much fun.
More.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people had a lot of fun. There were people being carried out over... There was somebody being carried out over somebody's shoulder. As we were walking into the concert.
That's right.
And I was like, how do you drink that much beer watching a race?
I think part of it is also we hadn't had even that kind of heat in the area for a while. So people who are not professionals are not also properly hydrating, and they're
probably drinking the hard stuff because there were hard cocktail booths everywhere. And I was like, why are you lined up to do this? You are here to watch an automobile race. In this heat. I think it was all the folks in the bougie section that had like the fully covered on the straightaway. They had fully covered, like the full catered and everything. Yep. I think they had a little
more access to
a few too many mimosas during the race.
No, it was a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, it was good.
The weather was 100% different than
it makes it worthwhile to like do it again.
Consider going again.
Yeah, and the upside for us, so like we, because my wife and son come down Saturday just for the race, and then we pieced out that night, went to the concert, then pieced out and went to like an Airbnb to stay, and which is nice, like getting out and doing that. But then we get up the next day, and you're only staying there for one night, so like we didn't buy like breakfast stuff.
Oh, right.
And it wasn't a torrential downpour. So this time it was like, okay, well, let's just pack up and like, let's go find something to eat. So we ended up actually not that far from the track back in Portland at a little like cafe in the morning, and then kind of wandered around Portland and made our way out. So it kind of like, if it stays this way, the weather and having this race, to me, it kind of becomes like, I'm going to start to actually plan it as like, let's plan the weekend. Let's do these things.
You're going to be in the Portland area regardless.
Yeah. And like, just choose to like, not dip out right away. And even if it's like for that one, if we ended up back down your guys' way or something, be like, all right, well, let's, if everyone's still there at 10 o'clock, find a brewery or do something. But yeah, so we went down to a cafe, kind of killed some time, hit a park, and then like ended up back in Vancouver at Lewitt Brewing in downtown Vancouver.
Yep.
And grabbed lunch and a flight before heading out. So it's a fun little trip. It's not bad. You could do it without taking time off, and it wouldn't be that bad.
But it's a lot nicer to get that day early in.
Yeah.
So you're like getting checked in a day before, like all the.
Well, we
busyness.
are lucky that we have someone going down 2 days ahead of time to
To
get
set
the
everything
spot,
up.
set
Yeah.
everything up. So we're really kind of
You just
rolling
roll
in.
in and go.
Yeah. So like that part is we're kind of benefiting from someone else.
Or you do the whatever parking pass that one black Tahoe did, because they rolled right in right after the race started.
Like right
And
up
back,
to the
and
edge.
backed right up to the fence at turn 7, and they just watched the race and then left.
Oh, because you can get infield parking passes without being in the RV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just
we saw that a lot more last year.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
or people
rain.
probably like, screw this, we're not camping. We're just gonna drive in for the race and
Well, it's separate. So there's RV pass, and then you can also get an infield pass, and you can park anywhere you want
right.
around in there. My dad said there was rumors like, "Oh man, Cup's going to come here. They're going to lose Sonoma or whatever. They're going to switch it." Going, there is not a restroom in this entire facility.
oh,
but Indy goes there. Indy goes to Portland.
Yeah, Indy
and races
is
there.
Xfinity level versus Cup.
Whoa.
You're going to say Indy is on the same level as like a NASCAR Cup Series?
For the quality of stuff that they want for their drivers and their teams, and
There's not a bathroom in that entire place.
they bring them in. They bring in bigger.
They brought in a whole bunch of porta potties this time.
No, they bring in. So when Indy, because it's
they bring in
Xfinity,
those
this is my
trailers
point.
that with the bougie.
It's they bring in a paddock, a garage on that side, and make a huge, big like VIP suites. Like they bring in all that stuff and build it for that weekend, or bring in the temporary stuff for that weekend and build up the infrastructure of the infield, like of that kind of garage area that is way fancier than anything they had there for Xfinity.
There's nothing fancy there.
But I'm not. I don't want to stereotype, but I think the average NASCAR fan, the level of accommodation at the track, I think, is something a lot of NASCAR fans are fine with, because it did feel like, because you had it was the quarter midgets.
Yep.
I never did go see them.
They had them out
They were
in
in
the
the
infield. They had a full day of kids running around.
Yeah.
In quarter midgets. You had the Miata races. It was cool. Just you had top to bottom. Where you start out driving, you saw some intermediate.
I like that there was more to go and see and stuff going on.
But then saw the interview. Somebody was interviewing the Biff, our boy Greg Biffle.
And
Okay.
He said, I like what I saw down in Portland this year.
yeah.
He's looking at driving a car next year.
Huh. I just don't think
He said he's talking to the NASCAR folks. You should really think about running a race there.
they'd have
He
to.
said he could do it.
You got to bring in bigger infrastructure, do something.
But
That was my point.
But the bodies are there. The bodies are there.
But that's my point. Is that what I'm saying is Indy brings it in just temporarily for that race.
Extra stands?
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
On the other side, above the garages.
I bet they could figure it out. It's one of those things like, hey, we're going to book the race. Let's figure it out.
Oh, they bring in the garages. So
Yes, like they bring in stuff and do it over there.
because that was the other front.
And it'd be
any garages.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be great because it's right before, like, you could line it up with Sonoma. Like
To
you
do a
you
double
go to,
road course.
but all your stuff is on the West Coast.
Well, and that's why they did it this year for Xfinity, because last year they came across just for Portland and then went right back to the East
yes,
Coast.
but they spent 3 extra days at their previous track, and they had like
got
3 days
hosed that way.
But if you made it part of a West Coast swing,
I don't want it because I don't want the price to go up. It's fine. I'm fine with it being just Xfinity. It keeps it cheaper. It keeps it like enjoyable.
run the trucks there.
I just don't. I don't. It's nice to. It'd be nice to have a NASCAR race closer to home. I don't need it.
I can't even imagine what that campsite would go for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay, but the other
The
thing,
Cup race.
yeah,
It'd probably be eliminated because that's where they'd be parking. Well, they wouldn't. So that's the other thing. It's all dry camping.
yeah,
There's no hookups.
oh yeah.
Anywhere out.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you're pack it
yes,
in, pack
yes,
it
it
out.
was dry.
No.
There was not alcohol
no
there.
hookups, no power,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
water
yeah.
anywhere on site.
Mhm.
That's just something you'd have to.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know enough of like what the camping situation is at other tracks to know how comparable it is.
It goes back and forth, but
Yeah.
But the other thing he said with Chicago, he said maybe for Seattle, you look at a road course.
Oh, that'll never happen.
God, it's too hilly.
Soto.
Are
That
Yeah.
right south. You imagine this
you
a
think the
big
mayor
old
of Seattle's going to sign off on a NASCAR race
a
downtown?
big old
That'd be fun.
straightaway right down to Edgar Martinez,
Oh,
right past Safeco.
that'd be pretty cool on first half.
That old Gran Turismo track, the Gran Turismo road
yeah.
track. Yeah, I think you could still drive it today. I'll have to look.
I don't know.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool to have.
Yeah.
But it was a cool experience to go to.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, you
speaking
guys.
of, this is let's
Oh, yeah.
fridge this.
Oh yeah,
this beer.
man. Oye Como Va. And then so let's fridge it, and then you guys had another experience that I want to hear about.
We'll crack the next beer and then kind of talk about the Gig Harbor Beer Festival
Okay.
we went to over a month ago. Camp Cooler.
That's where you put it.
I put it in the camp cooler.
I'd take it in the camp cooler. That's about where I'd go. Mexican lager is not really my scene. Beach, like I said, a little light on the lime. This would be one I might actually even fruit. Just
Yeah.
to punch it up a little bit.
Actually, I wouldn't be mad about tossing a lime in this one.
A little salt on the glass.
Which quick side note,
Beer salt's a thing now.
I went to I was at Seven Seas for something, and they have a key lime sour.
That's a good brewer review.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Key lime sour, and they ask you if you want salt on the rim. And I didn't because I don't like the overly saltiness. But then as soon as I sat and drank it, I was like, I should have tried it with the salt. I should have just done it because you can at least then clear.
Bypass it.
Yeah, you can always clear a space and do it. I'm not going to go out of my way to find this one. If it's around and available, I'll drink it. It was good. But so maybe an occasional beer fridge.
But okay, so what was your best taste in your flight at Cascadia Brothers? If you can remember that.
Oh, I don't remember that far back.
This is why.
He took a photo.
No.
Oh, I took a photo too, but I
Or
didn't
he
take a photo.
or he untapped it. He untaps everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I can look at it and see.
Take a photo. You have a favorite, obviously, if you're bringing it up.
Do you?
Yeah, the Como Va.
Was
this?
yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this,
But you didn't have that in your flight, right?
No.
So
Did I
you're
not?
adding that? Because we just talked about this
Yeah.
earlier, that it was cans only. Can pours.
Let's see. I was thinking.
Chad getting caught out saying something completely ridiculous 2 podcasts in a row. What?
Oh, I had 9 of theirs.
I think.
Oh, I had a flight and then a pint. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun.
So the one recommended to me by the bartender was the best day ever, which was their session IPA, which was awesome at 4.75. I liked that.
I actually I had that a couple years ago.
I think my favorite is their You Like a Juice?
Oh,
Their
yeah.
Hazy IPA at 6.5.
I think I tried yours. I had a little taste of it, but didn't check it in and enjoyed it. Honestly, my highest rating one was You Knew What This Was,
Yep.
which is their IPA at 6.7%.
That's what it was.
So that was actually my kind of winner, I think, for the
I was a liar.
Mm-hmm.
I misremembered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was the Sidekick Sour.
Mm.
Ooh. Can I change my mind?
Yeah. But I think I also had the You Knew What This Was as well. That was a good one. But that sour was fantastic.
I actually had best day ever a couple years ago out of a growler and gave it a pretty good rating. So
The Summer Sidekick we got in cans, so I think I brought one here. So you got another one
Nice.
in the fridge for you.
sweet. So let's.
Oh God, that's what my mix was.
What?
I thought you did.
I did 2 of the Como Vas and 2 of the sours. Duh.
Right. So you got another sour
Nice.
that I brought back. So you left them all in the cooler.
Because I drank that other sour like at 9:00 at night, and it was not a good choice.
It's not a great time for a sour.
Because I drank the Black Raven, the
Kitty Cat Blues.
No, that a Core 4. I did that.
Oh, the
blueberry.
water.
I had the blueberry sour.
Yeah.
Then I had the Sidekick sour, and then I finished my night up Saturday night with the second Flavor Aid
Ooh.
Sports drink sour.
You went 3 sours
I went 3
at
sours
night?
in a row. My last 3 beers of
Oh,
Saturday.
dude.
He was the last one awake in the morning.
It was tough.
Oh, you mean he was the last one to get up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I woke up at 5 and it was like, no, I'm gonna stay in this thing.
So I was just gonna say, so is this the third call out of Chad for something wrong when he told me earlier, like, oh no, I get up early?
Oh, he was still up by 7:30.
Yeah.
Something. Well,
It's camping, man. You can't sleep in that late.
It was tough.
In a trailer is different.
Tell me how impressed you were with my daughter, though, on Sunday morning.
What?
Goddamn stud.
So we're breaking camp again. There are 2 generators fired up. These campsites are not
They're
20 feet
very
wide.
close.
4 feet away. You're 4 feet away from a generator.
on either side.
I was having a tough time at like 7:45 with the general milling around of everyone. Then I was like, fine, I'll get up.
Yeah.
Time to go.
We pulled her cot out of the tent. Generators running.
I forgot
in the
that she
sun.
was staying in there that night.
Didn't stun her.
No.
I legitimately thought you guys were going to throw her in the back of the truck just to see what
Slept
happened.
for another 45 minutes before finally woke her up.
All right, let's explain this beer before we talk about.
So Imprint beer. This was Nectaron wallpaper.
Oh yeah, it was like Imprint we've had.
Yeah, same
so-
brewery.
So if it was
Wait, what?
This was an
what kind
audible.
of
This was
hops did they use for that Nectaron wallpaper?
wallpaper,
Yeah,
just for the dry hop.
Yeah, this was kind of an audible. Like we were going to do both of these on the same day.
So this is if it was Nectaron wallpaper, this is mild enthusiasm. Dark mild, 4.3% ABV beer.
I'll tell you what.
Ooh, nitrogen infused.
Yeah.
Pour hard. So if you guys want to like
Kill it.
Ooh,
add a splash,
I will tell you, there's no
there's nothing mild about this.
there's no side pickle smell in this one. This has got great like
this
roasty,
is a fresh glass that I
chocolatey.
cleaned.
Oh, is this? Did I hand you? Oh, it is from you. The smell is fantastic. Like
This is great. This is great.
This is my like. I like dark beers. I like stouts. I like imperial stouts. I like. Give me all that stuff.
This is the right lane of stout for me as well.
But well, this is not a, not a.
this
it's,
is
This is dark ale.
it's
right?
not a stout. It's not a stout.
Yeah.
But this is a great. You get the stout attributes with without a thick like body, without the extra booze. Like you get all of that kind of fun of the dark beer without what some people might be like, oh, it's a little too much of like those other things.
I'm actually, now that I understand the difference, I would say this is more in the porter.
It probably would be closer to it. Yeah, you're right. But I can already tell you I'm a big fan of this one. And this is the type where like you come across in a flight and I'm always going to throw one of those
in
there as like that switch up. Or I think I talked about it before where I went to Whistle Punk in Spokane and I was trying to figure out what the name of a beer was on their list. And he's like, oh, that's our dark Czech lager. And I was like, yep, give me that one. Like,
while we're tasting this,
I'm looking up some of the details. Yeah, so
we're going to talk about, me and Alec ended up going to the Gig Harbor Beer Festival a few weeks ago. Yeah, damn near. The 12th annual. They didn't put the date on the thingy.
it was
I can look
May
at my photos.
20th.
May 20th is when I took pictures.
Okay, so yeah, almost a month ago.
Because I couldn't go because I had a work event and then a housewarming party.
Yeah, it was one of those last minute. I think I caught the email. Hey, 1 week left to sign up. Come to the beer festival. Overall, I thought it was great. It was the first beer festival post
I was gonna say,
COVID I've ever gone.
How many have you been to in general?
I think a handful before,
Okay.
from way back in the day.
2, maybe.
Yeah.
But festivals were really tough back when we were doing the blog, and like it was like you maybe had 1 or 2 a year, and now it seems like now that summer's hit, because like in between this and the going to the Gig Harbor Beer Fest, and then today, I think, who was it? I think it's Hood Canal. They're on it, like you see them on Instagram. They've been to like 3 or 4 more beer festivals in the last 30 days. So it's like almost every weekend now you can find
Going out and
but it is easy to do when you've got, I think there's only like 12 breweries at this.
16 is what I counted.
16. Easy to set up. They were set up down in the mall there. Very cool little spot.
There's 14. 2 of them are not. 3 of them are not breweries.
Yeah, you had 2
ciders.
Cider.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a seltzery, which I like though because that's going to at least.
There were folks who I only ever saw them drinking that, and that's, great. That's an option for them. I'm
For,
surprised there wasn't like one booth with wine.
Because that's it's a different license. Although they had distilling
that's right.
there,
No,
but they had distilling there, so that could be a different thing. But I like that because, like, now that my wife is gluten free, it does provide the option of having that and having something else for people to do, which is the same thing I think with like breweries having at least a cider on tap or a seltzer doing something. It's interesting. What I was going to say earlier, it's interesting that you talked about like you feel like some of these breweries are at festivals all the time because the like more national consensus that I've seen is festivals are harder to do and going away more. So this would have been by now last month is usually Father's Day weekend. There is the largest festival in Washington State happens up at Merrimore Park every year. Washington Brewers Guild, somebody puts it on, Brewers Association, and it's struggled the last few years. Obviously, COVID. But then it has just generally struggled with getting people there and being their big moneymaker. They canceled it for the first time in decades. And there's potential it's not coming back.
On Father's Day weekend every time, though?
It was, but it still was always big. So it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's always been big. And now there's a few who are doing, like Ballard did one the same weekend kind of because, hey, there's not this main one that everybody goes to.
Away from.
And so I wonder though if the difference is maybe these big fests are going away more, but you're getting more of like, hey, like because you talk about Gig Harbor, I mean, the furthest away for these is Ghost Fish, which also, hey, gluten free, but Ghost Fish is from Seattle. Every single other one of these is like Tacoma. Or the peninsula, Edgewood is the furthest otherwise.
It's an hour drive for most of these folks, depending on traffic. But my previous employer, I ran a barbecue.
South Seattle to Gig Harbor and good traffic. You could make it in an hour-ish.
Or you just go there the night before. But at my previous employer, I ran a barbecue festival. When it was small relatively meant like 100, 200 people.
Yeah.
Very easy you could get it dialed in. It'd maybe take 30 days. Right. 30 days out, send out the invites, do blah, blah, blah. Once we got to like 1,000 people, then it's 3 months. Then it turned into 6 months ahead of time. So yes, if you have a big beer festival, there is a certain critical mass that you have where it becomes, this is now a full-time job.
Too cumbersome,
to
run the whole event.
Takes all year to get sponsorships because you got all the the cash, logistics. For beer festivals, you have to have
all the licenses
and permits. Is somebody else trying to get that space? But if you only need a dozen to 16 10 by 10 pop-ups, putting it in the middle of a shopping center, essentially like for your reference, kind of like like a little plaza at Showware.
Is that so?
Down in Showware.
So that was going to be my next question. Is like what kind of space was this in?
Like Kent Station.
Oh yeah, I meant Kent Station.
Oh,
so like
okay.
Restaurants
are all around you,
and that was probably the biggest knock that I would have in the whole thing because they had a band.
Oh yeah,
planned, but they didn't bring any like food trucks.
No food trucks at all.
No, because
they had the restaurants.
They have all the restaurants, and they didn't want to steal business from the restaurants on that day. So I get it,
but I need like grab and go stuff.
Yeah,
like if I'm doing that,
and you had to leave the festival to go into the restaurants.
Yeah,
so small knock, but I think it's something you can figure out. But if
and it was packed.
But if the rent on the space is good,
Yeah.
i.e., it's free,
Yeah.
then that's a small price to pay to, go get your food. Go get your food at a restaurant. Come back in. Everyone's happy. We don't have to pay for the space. I don't know. I'm just
What it looks
kind of
like,
talking
yeah.
out of my ass on
Yeah.
the background, but great little festival. And I think kind of getting back to that point, probably relatively super easy to get set up and go because that's all the moving parts. You have 12 people, 12 breweries showing up with 12 up tents, 2 kegs of beer, buckets of ice.
Yeah, the stage probably had more setup than anything else there.
And it was probably twice as loud as it needed to be because you couldn't sit and you couldn't sit and talk to somebody about beer because there were a lot of people there. There's probably I'd say like 2, maybe 3.
100, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
that's good.
then you have the big old stage in the middle. It's loud, and if you want to talk, everyone starts yelling, and it was just it was
Interesting.
tough to and like you would go
Because all of the tables were in front of the stage.
so you really couldn't have a conversation with the brewer.
Oh, okay.
Like the Island Time. I believe the Island Time won the best of. There was voting at the end. That was my vote.
So this is a pina colada milkshake pale.
And it was a one-off.
Yeah, just
I
done
talked
for
to him. I was
this.
like,
you were trying to buy it, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, guys, where is this? And they're like, oh, this was like
Screw around just
this
for
was
this.
like Alex's failure. They're like,
Oh,
right.
we screwed this up. I was like, do you need to screw it up again? Please.
So
do it again.
Ridgeline Brewing, they were the ones that brought a couple because you
Yeah.
had their Island Time and I had their Roto
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah, the Island Time was just fantastic. It was like a pina colada, but it was just not as it didn't have that cocktaily kind of finish. It was just amazing. I was sad that was my last. I think that was my last taste. So that would have been one I would have doubled
doubled
down
up on
It was that, and then the yuzu wit
from Echoes Brewing.
from Echoes. Those were my top 2 tastes. I think I put Tijuana Dentist third.
Tijuana Dentist was crazy.
From Acorn Brewing.
Yeah,
Acorn
it was.
Brewing.
It was very spicy. It was beyond Pepper Belly.
Jalapeno
Spicy.
Red Ale.
Mm-hmm.
I actually liked it.
That was my number 3.
And that was, it was not hot, but it was sunny and 70, right?
If it was 60, if it was in the 60s, I think that would have been like a number 1 or number 2. But it was full sun, not a lot of you couldn't find a lot of cover. That made it a little tough to drink a pepper beer, but
I think
it's worth if I can find it on the shelf, or even go in and grab a growler of it, give it a second wind, not so hot.
So Gig Harbor
Because it was a big
Brewing-
beer. It was like a 6 point something beer.
Which one? The Tijuana one?
The Tijuana.
6.4.
Yeah. A red ale.
So Gig Harbor's Brewing's Blood Orange Blonde, I think, was my favorite.
I think that was one. That was the one I doubled up on.
Did you hear that one?
You didn't
too?
have that one.
I didn't.
You had their black cherry porter.
That
we
was
split.
that
We went
was
black
the
cherry.
one. We
and
split that one.
We
shared.
cross contaminated
Yeah.
on that one and shared a
Yeah.
little bit. So I think that was my favorite of the show.
Black cherry porter is honorable mention. They could swap that out
Sure.
for third.
Rainy Days, Here to Party Pilsner. I like the vibe.
Party pills.
A big vibe brewery. Rainy days.
Me and Leslie did a Paulsbo trip years ago, and Rainy Days was one of those like pleasant surprises.
Mm-hmm.
This is back when she could just drink gluten, and we popped in there, and we probably almost did a whole flight of like stouts, and they actually had, I think it's on here. Oh yeah, you had it, Chad. The Mind Funk White Stout was one of the first times that I had the white stout where it comes out looking like your standard ale.
Yeah.
And then it drinks like a thick dark beer.
I think I went and had, because Acorn was like the first booth we hit on our loop.
Yep.
And then immediately I need to try the white stout.
Yes.
just off name alone.
There's a lot of there's somewhere like they are bringing their regulars, like Mind Funk is now one of their regulars. You look at like Silver City having Ziggy Zoggy is kind of a go-to. There's a few that have like, hey, we brought one of our like main ones. I think Beakbuster for Ghostfish is like their kind of go-to. But then there's a lot, like there is, some are really bringing out some kind of fun, funky stuff and trying something, it seems like, which is, I mean.
A smaller, to go another feather in the cap for a smaller festival, it's a great opportunity to bring something weird.
And try a one keg or
because most everyone had 2 offerings. And so it's a 50-50 chance somebody picks the Island Time Pina Colada beer or your standard safe one.
Right.
And either if it sucks, nobody...
You didn't invest too much in it.
Yeah.
It's just one drink and people... There were a lot of happy people there.
Yeah.
And by happy, I mean...
Loaded.
Drunk.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. We started to talk about this before we were recording.
Didn't get too sloppy.
But that's one of the things that, like, I've heard also people talk about for GABF, the Great American Beer Festival, where it's talk about the biggest beer festival, like breweries from all over the country, hundreds of breweries. And I think is also something I used to do there's a brewery festival in Fremont called Hopscotch. And it was like, oh, my tokens. Oh, look, there's a 9% beer. Oh, look, there's an 8.5% beer. Oh, look, and you would go to all those. Now, as an adult, I'm like, okay.
Because we almost did the opposite going.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're going to we're going to dabble in a couple of these 6-7%ers.
With only a 4% or 4 ounce pour or whatever.
I'm pretty sure I damn near had to alternate. It was like, I'm not going to do a 6 and a 6 back to back. And I mean, we were there for... You're there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then stuck around for lunch.
Yeah. Few 6s, but yeah, obviously some light ones. The thing that I like, there's some of these are breweries I don't know of. Like Echoes, I had never heard of before.
And they're within an hour.
Yeah, Deep Draft. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that changed. Some of the breweries we went to in Paulsbo years ago, I know aren't there anymore. Some of them, like Rainy Days, have made it through and are still cruising along. So, that's the fun part of a festival is when you still drove basically out there, right? You're out on
30 minutes.
Peninsula, but
not to Paulsbo.
Yes.
Yeah.
But getting more, but that's the thing is like it drew these people in from an hour the other direction. So you got a half hour closer to them and they came an hour closer to you and you get this chance to kind of try out some different stuff that like.
And now it's stuff that when I walk down the singles make your own 6-pack aisle, now I'm like, oh, hey.
I recognize that, yeah.
Yeah, I know what that brewery is. I've had a beer of theirs. I recognize it. So small festivals, easy to go to. Hopefully we see more.
Well, so that's what as we're recording this, I am texting with my wife to try and think about stuff. There is there's a brewery or a festival I went to years ago. Me and Leslie, and we really enjoyed it. It came back, and they're doing it again. It's usually in August. It's called Brew 53, and usually done in Tacoma. I think they're doing it. They usually do it downtown. I think they're going to be like closer out to Chambers Bay or something this time. But it's on August 12th.
Yeah, she's going to go to a beer festival the day she's giving birth.
No, it's 10 days after. I'm saying I might save up a get out of the house pass and maybe see if we can plan further than a week in advance and maybe see if we can get something on the books and check that out. So if that one doesn't work,
we shall see.
I think we should look into doing
to be a last hurrah kind of in July
collective. Yeah. If not, So if not that, see what we can find. So I haven't been to a beer festival in a while. But it'd be a fun one to check out. Sounds like a good time. Yeah. So
sure. You're
back to the Imprint.
Yeah, ready to fridge this?
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of am forcing myself to kind of sip on it a bit.
You got the rest of the can there.
But it's one Imprint again crushes it with their can art.
Yep.
Like it kind of fits with this whole thing.
I love the
subtlety of it.
I love the all black can with the kind of vintage,
like tannish tinge to the writing and stuff on it.
It stands right out in the fridge.
And the full-on black can.
Yeah.
Which I think the Nectron wallpaper had as well.
They did as well.
They did.
I'll main fridge this one. Like this is maybe this is like a fall coming out of winter where I'm like, this is my gateway to stouts, or as a I've already had one stout and I don't need the booziness of another stout. I really enjoy this. I like it a lot.
This would be a beer fridger for me, but this would be a winter to spring. A winter to spring.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a 40s to 50s, kind of a nice little, it's a very sessionable. It's like what, 4.3? Yeah, 4.3, very sessionable. Kind of an alternative to a porter or a stout.
Mm-hmm. The nitro kind of like gives a little like
makes it feel lighter.
Yeah, a little creamy, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting it's not hitting you with like the
very clean. Very clean.
It's not like the crisp of like a Pilsner where it's getting that like bubbly you're doing it. Slight creaminess to it. So
there's still a little malt on your tongue after, but it's not over the top.
Did you fridge it?
Beer fridged it.
Yeah.
With mild enthusiasm. I think I fridged this one.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot more taste at the same hit that you're going to get at a Pilsner or a light beer.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the upside of it.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So this is almost a fridger, not almost a fridger for me, because if you go and grab this versus getting
it's not hitting you like a 6.7% IPA.
Nope.
And but you're this
flavor.
In a couple of macros on the same day, like there's almost no.
And you're gonna paste it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
if you accidentally crush it, it's not gonna crush you.
Right.
Yeah. If I had a full pint of that and crushed it as quick as I did this little taster, I think I'd be fine.
Yeah. So
it would be manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I fridge it for those reasons.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well.
Oh, there it is.
You guys are all caught up on what we've been doing.
There you go. And now our glasses are empty. Hopefully yours are too. Catch you next time.
And then next time I listen to the final episode, when it hits the your podcast provider of choice, just a reminder, make sure you hit that alert button.
Please like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe.
Tell a friend.
Please tell a friend.
I can't tell where they are now because
you're so good at your job.
I don't want to. My ego doesn't need any more inflation. Unfortunately, I'm working on that.
If you've enjoyed what you just heard, make sure you subscribe to get new episodes when they drop, and don't forget to leave us a review. If you want to see what we're drinking, we're not on the pod. You can follow us on social media at ABR Review. Feel free to send us any beer suggestions that we can make Chad go buy off of Tavor.